Hi, Collective. Welcome to Intuitive Goddess Tarot 911. I'm Jenny. I have had such a hard time with first readings today. I don't know what's going on. Mercury in retrograde is over. I don't know what the fuck is happening. So anyway, welcome to Intuitive Goddess Tarot. I'm Jenny. So I tried to start this reading. I was called to do a reading on justice, equalizing, and freedom. I don't know who this is for, and again, I'll say if it resonates with you, great. If it doesn't, then let it go. But I decided to use this alchemy guidebook to do the reading. So we got Ouroboros, the Great Serpent. So this card in this placement is the initiation card. So it means the guardian entering a quantum realm. Everything is possible and new trajectory. So something is transforming. And then we got Sinus, Ash, which I feel like this is the fortune card. So it says memories, ancestors from the past, sifting through what has occurred. So like after a fire, there's sometimes things left in the ashes, like if I don't want to even say the words, but something burns down and then you're looking for things that are left. That's what I'm getting from it. And then we have fumus, smoke, which is interesting because it comes after the ash, so maybe something is still smoking. And this is the resistance card. So it says smoldering warning, illusion, smoke, seduction, or flee and panic. So either the smoke, like let's say your house is on fire. Of course you're going to flee, right? But if you are sitting outside in a bonfire with friends, the smoke is good, right? Just like I like the smoke from sage or Palo Santos. But then it says study the smoldering veil. So there's something about the smoke and the ashes that is transformative. And then we got autumn, which this is the determination card. So basically like the decision card. And so it says the culmination of generosity, donate, any amount will do, and gratitude. So something is equalizing for you. And I also found a sheep and an F on the floor when I was cleaning my tarot office. So we're going to use the Sacred Oracle deck to get some more information on what is happening here. Because I wasn't going to come out and do a reading today, but this felt like it needed to come out. So I hope you guys are having an amazing Saturday. I have a personal read in a little bit, so I gotta keep an eye on the time. Okay. So what about this initiation, this guardian? Anything is possible. What does the collective need to know about that? Preservation. Interesting. I think we're going to have to look at that. And then what about this sifting through the ashes? Connection. So maybe a connection from the past that is calling to you. Interesting. Okay, and then what about the smoke? Whether it's a seductive smoke or a feeling the need to flee from something. Patterns. What about patterns, Spirit? Perspective. Maybe your perspective has changed about something because you've transformed. Okay, and then what about gratitude, donate, any amount? What about that? Productivity. So something about you being grateful and you being productive. Okay, let me grab that book because I want to see what the preservation. Oh, and look at that. It opened right up to it. A dream is dormant, not lost. The reticence to accept something positive. A slow awakening to love. It is okay to take your time. Emotional barriers, self-preservation may have become self-sabotage, rejecting opportunity for fear or anxiety. The dismissal of kindness or doubt over someone's intentions is unwarranted. Interesting. So whatever you're looking at, whatever this, I feel like this is a past situation because this person's dead. Not literally in real life, I feel like. But something about a past situation is changing your perspective. So let's get a few more cards. I'm going to use the Sacred Rebels deck here. What about preservation? What about that? Interesting. So you're looking at something from a different point of view, which is kind of what I felt. What about this? What about this is bringing justice and transformation for the collective? Big, bold vision. You've got something on your mind. You've got something. This could be a job. Could be a relationship. This could be anything. What about connection? What about connection? I gotta take a sip of water. What about connection? Release the dark wound. Let love live. Maybe you felt unworthy of love in the past. Maybe you had bad luck with love in some way, shape, or form. What about patterns and perspective? Maybe you were stuck in a thought process. That's what was limiting your beliefs. What about this, Spirit? What you want wants you. What about that? Follow your own rhythm. Interesting. Okay. What about productivity? What about productivity? The perfection in your life. Huh. Interesting. I think I want to look at that. I don't usually feel the need to look at these, but I feel like the perfection in your life, and we'll use this deck since it's trying to jump out. Oh, let's see. Okay. Have you ever seen a storm picture from above? It can appear to be so beautiful and elegant. This is certainly different to the ground view, which can be quite violent experience. So too, this is a great beauty in your life now. However, at this point in the natural process, you may have been experiencing anxiety inducing rather than beautiful. You may sense an internal chaos. Yes, there's a shift of some sort happening. You may feel as if something is waiting to erupt from within, as a restlessness or an anxiety that you cannot quite articulate, but sense a vaguely nothingness. Perhaps you cannot quite articulate the sense of the vaguely nothingness. Huh. So you feel something is coming into your life? Through grace and mercy, so be it. Interesting. Okay. I want to grab some from this deck, which is... You know what? Actually, we'll use this deck. which is, hold on, the Nature's Whisperers Guidebook. I feel like I have a few of these. All right. So what about the preservation, looking at something differently in a big, bold vision? What about that? Because something big is changing and anything is possible. Breakthrough. Yeah, you've opened some sort of door. Okay. What about connection and release a dark wound to let love in? What about that? Intuition. That's what I was feeling like. You sense something is changing. What about patterns, perspective, what you want wants you, and follow your own rhythm? Love matters. Huh. Okay. What about, oh shit. Well, these were trying to fly out. That's too many. I'll tell you what they are though. Let love be your beacon. Ideal course of action. Potential gateway. Gratitude and appreciation. What the fuck did I say? And clear endeavor. Let's put it back in. We'll see if any of them come back out. So what about productivity and the perfection in your life in autumn? What about that, Spirit? What about that? And then we'll get to tarot. What about that? Adventure. Confirmation by the chaos from my cats. Adventure. Okay. What about adventure? Contemplation. Yeah, you're reconsidering something. What about contemplation? Pause. You're thinking, you're taking time out to think about something. What about the pause? Be in service. Be in service. Be in gratitude. Huh. Okay. So this all seems very positive. I just gotta check the time. It's 1:29. Okay. So I'm just gonna look at these because I don't want to have any in reverse. Because I don't typically read these in reverse. I don't know how some of them got in reverse, but that's okay. All right, I think I got them all. So what do we need to know about this breakthrough, this transformation, this big bold vision, and just seeing things from a different point of view? Why is this coming out today, Spirit? Why is this coming out today? The moon. It was just on the bottom of the fucking deck, and I let it go. Okay. Some sort of mystery hidden in your subconscious, and I don't talk like that, so I don't know where that's coming from. What about the moon, Spirit? What about the moon? Seven of Swords. Something that you're keeping from yourself? What about the Seven of Swords? Some sort of self-deception. What about that? Three of Swords. some emotional pain or trauma you're not looking at, perhaps, that needs to be looked at in order for you to transform. What about intuition, connection, and releasing the dark wound? Maybe you have to look at it to release it. Maybe that's what this is about. What about that, Spirit? The Lovers. What about the Lovers? What about the Lovers, Spirit? Why is this? Well, it's on top of connection, so 9 of Cups. I feel like you are letting yourself feel loved. This is part of the transformation. What about the 9 of Cups? And you struggle with that, whoever you are. What about the 9 of Cups? The Sun. So you opening yourself up to love and forgiving yourself for something dark, a dark wound that you have, that you're hiding from yourself. You letting that go is going to help you to be successful in relationships. What about love matters, patterns, perspective, and what you want wants you? Wheel of Fortune. Karma is at play here. What about the Wheel of Fortune? What about that? Temperance. Because you letting go of these dark wounds, letting yourself be loved, is the key to you being in this temperance energy. What about temperance, Spirit? What about temperance? Queen of Coins. So this would be Queen of Pentacles in a regular deck. So you allowing yourself to be generous with yourself, I feel like. Look at her. She's really adorned with everything that makes her feel beautiful. And I don't mean generous money-wise. I mean generous generous with doing things for your health, generous for, being able to look at those past things and forgiving yourself. And, I know I always say this, but energy is energy. So Queen is just a type of energy. So what about this being service, gratitude, contemplation, pause, and you looking at something in your life from a different perspective? What about that? The Emperor. I'm feeling like in fall, the leaves change and everything transforms. So what about this Emperor who's very structured? What about the Emperor? The Fool. Maybe you are the Emperor. And it's time for you to take a leap of faith and love. I know that sounds corny, people. What about the Fool? What about the Fool? What about the Fool? 8 of Swords. Yeah, 8 of Swords is someone who's not really trapped. They feel like they're trapped. It's a self-restriction. So there's something that needs to be let go of so that you can have justice. Yeah, the burdens, 10 of Wands. You have to let go of some burden. Death is on the bottom of the deck. With 10 of Coins. With 9 of Wands. Perseverance, getting through this. 6 of Wands. I don't know why I just heard parade. But you getting your accolades for whatever this is. Okay. So I feel like Death and 10 of Coins are the outcome, but can we get one more outcome card for the collective? 6 of Cups. Something you're not looking at is from your childhood. The Magician. So I feel like it could be the way that you perceived love. It could be the way that you were loved or were not loved. But you can transform this yourself because you're the magician. You're the master of your life. These cards, I hit them, but I feel like they needed to come out. And the High Priestess with 7 of Wands. And intuitively, you know this. You know that you need to put down the wands. Interesting. Okay. I think that's enough. Let's get some charms. I think I'm almost ready to do my personal reading. All right. So, other than the F, an F came out in the sheep. So what else? An S, a D, an F, an I, an L, an M, an H, an I, a P, and a G. And we got a tulip, a spider web, a heart, a starfish, a palm tree, a pink cloud. Maybe you're pink clouding. You know, by that I mean like saying everything is okay when it's actually not. A 4-leaf black clover, a butterfly, and a thing of pink lipstick. So, I hope this was helpful. I gotta hop off so I can do my personal reading, but this seemed important. You know what? I can't thank you guys enough for all your likes, your shares, your subscribes. The channel's growing, and I'm so fucking happy about it. I could scream, to be honest. But I'm just so appreciative of you guys. I love channeling the messages for you guys. I love reading tarot in general. I hope it shows. And if there's anything that you guys want me to do that's new or specific, let me know. But I hope you have a wonderful Saturday, and I love you guys so much, and have a good day. Bye.